I want to talk to those of you Taurians that are holding on to something. I want to talk to those of you that are feeling like there's a lack of inspiration or a lack of faith towards a project, a situation, or a relationship. Whatever it may be, whether it's a person, place, or thing, there's something about a tight grip. All right, this could be your money. This could be, holding on to what you currently have out of fear that you won't get something more. But more importantly, I want to dive deeper into what's causing the negative focus. What's creating the despair, right? What's creating the lack of faith? What's creating the lack of freedom to do what it is that you want to do? And really give that a platform at this moment. Okay? And this could be something that's periodically, like you may have good days, you may have bad days. It's something that tends to fluctuate. All right, that's what Spirit's telling me. It's not consistently this way every single day. So maybe when you're guided to watch this video, or you're guided to this reading, it might be one of those days. Okay. So, hey Taurus, how y'all doing? If you are new, welcome to our little love nest over here on Talk Taurus Tarot. If you're returning, welcome back. All right. My name is Talk Tequila. My friends call me TT. You are welcome to do so as well. So in this reading, I'm going to slow it down a little bit because I feel like there's a lot. This has a lot to do with, budgeting, Capricorn energy, finances, career, work, stability, your security. Some of you may be saving up for a big purchase like a home, a car, or just your business. If you are going through those material experiences in regards to your finances or the possessions or things that you've acquired, there seems to be, some type of worry or fear that you might lose it again. So if you've lost it once before, you could be feeling like you don't want to lose it again, or you don't want to have to go through that experience again, So I was guided to use this Evolution of the Soul deck, and we have service. You put others before yourself. Lessons learned from give and take. Here to be of service to others. So that explains a lot. Okay, that explains why you may tend to focus on what happened last time you borrowed that money out, no one paid you back. What happened the last time you let that person back into your life and they betrayed you? What happened last time you did something and you felt like whatever you gave was taken for granted or not reciprocated? The lessons that you've been learning has been revolved around giving and taking, being of service, and putting others before yourself. Now, a lot of times, right, as an interpreter, we might say, don't do that. We might say, that's your problem. But I feel like Spirit is telling me something different here. I feel like Spirit is shifting my perspective a little bit, because that's also a coping mechanism or a way to avoid the feeling or the sensation that comes along with learning these lessons or having these experiences, right? A lot of times we could start to feel like victims of repetitive cycles, victims of repetitive situations. It could feel like a punishment Or, God, what are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to tell me that I'm doing the wrong thing? Are you trying to tell me that there's no hope? Are you trying to tell me that I need to stop overgiving? I need to give more? Like, help me understand or understand why this is happening, if I'm to be of service to humanity, if I'm to be a person that's willing to give unconditionally, why are there conditions put on that? These are all great questions that I have been coming up to my awareness, that I'm aware of, that I'm feeling in this reading. A lot of times, it's really the outside people. Let's say you're that type of person where when someone moves into your neighborhood, right? Let's say you're the type of person that will go and bring a dish of food and you just welcome them with love to your neighborhood, right? Let's say you're that type of person that does that. And then you come across somebody that tells you, oh, why did you give them that plate of food? That's extra. You're doing extra. Nobody asked you to do all of that. Would they do it for you? Would they come and bring you a plate of food? Or will they come and bring you a Tupperware of their dinner? They probably won't even eat it anyway. They're probably going to throw it away. And all your time was wasted. So a lot of times those negative thoughts can be planted in us by way of interaction with other people. Right? And sometimes it can shape the way we continue being of service to other people. It can shape the way we look at the world. The moment that we agree that what they're telling us has value or has weight, you will start to look at yourself like something may be wrong with me. Right? Because the world is cruel. And amongst all that cruelty, there seems to be no place for safety. There seems to be no place where people value the integrity or the camaraderie or the bartering or the lifestyle that you would like to experience or that you feel guided to facilitate within your reality. Okay. These negative thoughts are also planted even younger than that. Let's say you are the type of child that's very optimistic. You're very outgoing. You may have been the type of child that was very loving, giving, and your parents may have saw that about you and started to remind you of how you need to hold back. Started to remind you of how you needed to restrict your love because there's murderers, there are kidnappers, there's family members that will hurt you. They may have even, gave you the harsh reality of slavery and hard times and how your kind of person or your type of person will always be taken advantage of. So as a child, before you start to really commit that to your personal identity, you'll start off by saying, I don't want to get in trouble by my parents, so I'm going to be secretive. I don't want to get in trouble by my parents, or I don't want to be laughed at when I'm proven wrong. I don't want to have to hear my parents or people around me closest to me say, I told you so. Let's go even deeper. Let's say that you're in a relationship and the relationship goes south, or the relationship doesn't pan out to go the way you want to go, but you still feel an attachment to that person. You still feel like, even though it's hopeless in the degree of, how society might perceive it, there's a part of you that's still holding space for that person in that relationship. There's a part of you that wishes that if they were to change, or if you guys were able to work it out, would you be able to love each other? Would you be able to hold that up All right. Would you be able to share that love from a different space? Right. And then if you think about it, the first thoughts that come to your mind is, I don't want to be embarrassed again. I don't want to be a fool again. I don't want to feel like, I took them back and they did it again. And then my family, my friends, and everyone's like, oh, you're a jackass. You didn't see that coming. You couldn't see it for what it is. But every time your heart's desires tries to lead you towards what it is you want, you start thinking about every negative thought process. It comes up like a protective mechanism. As soon as your heart starts wanting it, your mind starts saying nope, 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 nope. So the question here with the evolution of your soul, right, is service. You put others before yourself. Lessons learned from give and take. Here to be of service to others. So the question here is, how can you be of service to others with the lessons you have learned? How can you take your pain and give it to someone else as an expression of your learned lessons, right? And in that way, honor your desire to put others before yourself. Because I feel like what I'm seeing here is, when you're not putting others before yourself, you don't feel like you are being your true authentic self. And that's okay. When you're not being of service, you don't feel like you're doing anything worthwhile. You don't feel like you have a purpose when you're not able to give in that way. So the more you're going against your true authentic love language, your true authentic self, the negative thoughts is doing more harm than going through the experience over and over and over again. And in so many ways, the negative thoughts may have played a role in the destruction of those lessons to begin with. But how would we know? How would we know? If we didn't put ourselves in that experience, I guess. How would we know, right? How would we know that we actually learned from the previous time if we weren't willing to make a mistake again? A lot of energy goes into the prevention of ever making the mistake again. Think about it. Even when, we're talking, we're like, you should know better. By this point, you should have already mastered not to do that again. But like when you walk with spirit don't really handle you that way. Right? Like when you're really walking along your guides, like they're not stopping you from hitting every pitfall. Why? Why would they let you hit a pitfall? If everything was naturally designed to prevent you from ever falling, why would they see that in your timeline and allow it to happen to you? There's still a lot we don't know. There's still a lot that we're still discovering and evolving and experiencing. But sometimes if spirit tells us too much, we'll never move. And if sometimes the spirit doesn't tell us enough, well, it's never an instance where they're not telling us exactly what we need to know. Question is, are we listening? Do we really feel like we're alone? And if you're not able to tune into your heart from your true authentic heart space, there may be something that prevents you from being able to hear the guidance to begin with. Hear it from a place of, you know, that raw love. Hear it from a place of infinite intelligence, right? Infinite perspectives, right? And how do we know when it's not our ego speaking for us? Even if it's uncomfortable for us to say, how do we know how to decipher or discern the two? If we're living in victim state where we're saying, this happened to me, this person did it to me, hell no, hell no, hell no, that's your ego. So a lot of times when these connections come back to you or they come back around, it's something about your heart that is holding on to that energy exchange, that currency. And it could be from past lives, it could be from this life, but there's something that has seeded this deep issue, past issue. It's a space of control, right? Afraid to fall, so you control never falling, right? Afraid of the loss of control, so you never try. it's like a catch-22. You damned if you do, you damned if you don't. All right, we have bottom of the deck, soul is royalty. Extraordinary regal presence. Step into your own personal power. Living your purpose as a leader. Let's see. Let's see, Spirit. Forever young. I wanna be forever young. Tell me, do you wanna be forever? Forever. Forever. I wanna be forever young. So we have mind power. You're a higher level soul with a mission to create transformation in people's mind, so their emotions can come into balance. So a lot of you are being of service. Like a lot of this is life purpose energy here. These lessons that you went through in relationship, these painful experiences, are really a gift to you. It's a gift to you, and in some way, shape, form, or fashion, whether they're reading your book, having a conversation with you, listening to your seminar, sitting in your class, having a self-help how-to, sharing your perspective, okay? This pyramid, okay, that primordial pyramid energy with the flower in the middle is giving blooming, is blossoming, something's to blossom. And this is how unique each expression of this lesson or these lessons are really supposed to manifest into your life. Like each one is a bud, you know? And until you give it purpose, until you have repurposed it into something, whether it's a lyric video or a dance move, until you have expressed it and you keep giving it, you know, someone might say, oh, that's nothing. That's just pain, or that's just an experience. No. You ever watch someone perform a dance on a stage, right? And the people in the audience cry just by witnessing the movement and the expression of art and their love for that dance. The reason why they're crying is because of the power of the mind. Being able to visualize and have visions and experience the emotional ebbs and flows, ups and downs from all the beats, the sounds, the music, the rhythm. It's doing something. It's doing something on a subconscious level. And that is all the service you ever needed to do. You don't have to control anyone. You don't have to do anything. Just you showing up for yourself. You expressing your power. This is what made you strong in these areas. It's not a weakness, it's a strength. But as long as these negative thoughts are preventing you from having more experiences, the more you'll start to like glitch, right? The more it'll prevent you from having any experience at all. You're stronger in the surrender than you are in the control, the grip. Crystal child, you're here to help uplift the planet of harsh energy, bringing forth healing and peace, and also assist humanity in soul growth and evolution. Some of you, this will be, never doubt the long lasting impression that you have just walking past someone. Never doubt that your existence isn't inspirational. You don't need a grand gesture of your existence. This could be to your small family. This could be to your immediate children, right? Your immediate family. That is great service. That is great purpose. And a lot of people will say, oh, that's not enough. But who said you had to have like this huge status or this huge clout or this huge perspective around what it's supposed to look like? That wasn't yours. You didn't come here wanting that. That was given to you. That's the narrative given. So when we shift the energy to, I have to save so I could get here and get here quickly, we start to realize that as long as we are being true to our heart, as long as we are being true to our authentic desires, despite what other people might say or other people might feel, you are not wrong, foolish. You're just not afraid. You realize and master that fear of anything was the illusion. You know? And just like you have the power to help things grow around you, you also have the power to reprogram and give birth to something else within you. Scribe and writer. You have karmic relationship. Okay, so there's something about a past life relationship, okay? Some of you may have experienced a past life relationship and you guys were very karmic to each other. You may have written down and promised yourself that you would come back to this person and you would get it right next lifetime. A lot of times when we say things like, catch me next lifetime, we're really setting an intention on a soul level that I want to rewrite this differently. And every single time, some of you may have been trying to rewrite this same story over and over and over and over again to do it differently next time. A lot of you may be in this energy of keep the karmic relationships away from me. You know, some of you may have got to experience relationships where you were royalty, never had to want for anything, right? And having a relationship like that may have once in the past life been desirable. But some of you wrote in this life, you wrote a birth plan for yourself where in that past life you would have rather have a relationships of hardship and lessons and getting it out the mud and sleeping on air beds together, being homeless together, but doing it together. So those lessons would bring you stronger. Those lessons would be the gift that you both are capable of giving to the world. So if you once felt that before in your life, I do feel like it comes from a past life of feeling like where you were, you watered the grass where you were in a past life out of duty and obligation, and you didn't love that experience. You felt like it wasn't real love. Your partner or your relationship was business. The marriage was business. You know, the duty as a royal didn't allow you to have certain ups and downs, but you still went through ups and downs, but you didn't have the freedom to say who you wanted to be with. You didn't have the freedom to say, I want this person despite my royalty, despite this or despite that. For some of you, you may have had to abandon someone that you love. You may have left them. And you may have said that you were going to meet them at the port, or you were going to meet them at the train station, and y'all were going to run away together. And y'all didn't do it. But the chemistry and attraction was something that y'all never forgot. And y'all felt like it was unfair not to be able to live your life how you wanted to live it. You still want it to be of service, but you want it to be of service in a different way, you know? Let's think about, I think Princess Diana for a second. If we were going to apply that scenario, right? In this life, she would be technically considered a karmic relationship, right? A relationship where you guys were not of the same background, right? Not of the same lifestyle. You're from different parts of the world, and you're trying to be together. The relationship issues that they battled through, even under those roof, went against what was supposed to be written for them, or what was supposed to be acceptable for them to be together. She didn't know the customs. She didn't have the certain upbringing that he did, but they loved each other. So in that type of situation, it's considered karmic because there's so many lessons, both with each other, because I'm sure they had arguments. I'm sure they did things or said things to each other because of the pressure of the people around you. A lot of your relationships have suffered because of the upbringing of your parents, the religious belief systems, and the outside world telling you that you're settling for average or mediocre. But what's wrong with just having a relationship where you sit outside and you do nothing except love each other? What's wrong with having a relationship where you're at a distance and you write to each other and you want to be with each other? There's so many stigmas that I see here revolved around love and how it's supposed to be expressed, how it's supposed to be experienced. And a lot of you are in love with people or partners that you've had hard experience with. And you've tried to move on and you feel like you can't move on. And, you know, some of you will say that you have moved on and you're over it. But it's following you. It's an energy. It's following you. One past life lover after another are following you. Like moths to a flame. In the real world, this ship would sail. In the real world, this is not supposed to be able to happen. Everyone has their place. Everyone has their role. Everyone has their story they're supposed to live. But for some reason, you and these energies keep being drawn to each other. And all karmic relationship means is that you guys have multiple lifetimes of going through different challenges, different experiences, more than once. One person dying at war, the other person being left to pick up the pieces. Seems like when y'all try to be together, tower moments hit over and over again. You know, it comes crashing down every single time. I mean, you can't get comfortable. But is that a bad thing? Is it really? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. A lot of people have been told, you know, in the karmic relationships, focus on your passions, get enlightened. A lot of you were taking now this journey of in the karmic relationship, and you're not gonna want to hear this, but a lot of you were told to end the karmic relationship, grieve that person, let them go. Focus on what you love, find your passion and your desires. Receive the enlightenment, realizing that you have the power to do whatever it is that you want to do this lifetime. Be able to identify your soulmate within yourself first. That being built on stable ground would allow you to shift your perception around love. See, the metamorphosis that's occurring right now comes from because she's looking back. Some of you are meant to be with that person, okay, where you learned a lot of lessons with. Some of you guys are meant to end something and be, with this perception shift, be the bigger person. All right. Just how I said, like with this card here, a lot of you in past lives, you mourn the loss of this person, feeling like they left. And it could always feel like every time you have to leave that person, it's painful. It's painful because that's how much passion you guys have for each other. And the only reason why you guys were guided away from each other and was to complete something, receive some type of enlightenment. And every time your perspective keeps growing, you become more enlightened. You understand what it takes in order to be in this type of relationship where there's lessons every day. It's a day of every day you're growing. Every day you are on a journey of endings and beginnings from sun up to sundown. But, Spirit is saying, having you guys venture out this far, there's an element that's ready to be transformed. And it has something to do with, now apply what you've learned, apply the insight that you've received, the wisdom that you received, the enlightenment that you received, and then go and plant that love. Soulmate. Plant that love, mind power. Be the change. And Spirit is saying, no matter who it is, whether it's this person, all of the energies are the same. You get a new person, you're still going to have lessons. You're still going to have things you're going to have to grow with. You're still going to have to go through certain experiences that will challenge you. There will be lessons to learn. It's not cookie cutter. And comparing it to like a clip on TikTok of a 30-second person saying how they found their lover of their lifetime. They're not telling you their ups and downs. They're not showing you the ins and outs. So to compare your situation to someone who's telling you, oh, this is the way it should be, we got to do a self-check. Okay? Impartiality. There's a gray area. It's not as black as white as everyone say it is. There is a gray area. There is a space for, miracles to be performed. But it will require you to focus on your insecurities and work on them diligently. Nobody is perfect, and nobody said you had to be perfect. And forgiveness is not weakness, it is strength. This is the negotiation that's been occurring for however long, spiritually. When Spirit asked you to leave that person, place, or thing, it was like mourning a death. I don't care if they're still alive. You mourned this relationship. You mourned this ending hard. It was not easy for you to let go of that thing, person, place, or thing. That soulmate. But sometimes we got to go out there so we can learn that the grass ain't always greener on the other side. It says, union is an energy, not a physical construct. Even when we aren't together, I feel our union. I long to sweep you off your feet and shower you with my love. And then we have stability. You are my true love, my heart and my soul. Get congested, y'all. I want to know everything about you, but I hold myself back from asking. I'm afraid to get in too deep. So I feel like a lot is It's nesting on. Sometimes, our soulmates that we come is not as linear as we think they are. So let's say, for example, you meet a soulmate and there's certain karmic patterns that you guys, just because we do not throw the whole human away because you hear the word karmic. Like, come on, people. What do we think this is? We do not throw away the entire energy because it has karmic ties. That is so, like, if I'm to be honest with you guys, right? I am not the same person that I was a year ago. I'm not the same person that I was a week ago. I'm not the same person at all. I change every day. My perspective shifts every day. The dreams, the downloads, the ideas, the crying, right? The realizations, the looking in the mirror. It's an everyday school. Okay? It's an everyday school. Life is school, right? All of us have karmic ties, and sometimes a karmic tie can be literally one aspect of you. So let me give you an example, because I'm guilty of this. I have a placement, and it was only through studying my birth chart that I was able to see certain facets about myself and really challenge my perspective on why I behaved a certain way. A lot of times we don't know why we're behaving a certain way. We don't know what the cause is, but we're looking for the truth. We're looking for, why is this always happening this way? What's this reason for? How do I get rid of it? How do I never have to experience again? And the truth of the matter is, when you master how to continue molding yourself and how to continue healing and repairing and regrowing, when you focus on the RX instead of the resistance, your life source changes, your frequency changes. It's hard to put into words, but when you focus on the RX, the solutions, you spend less time focusing on the problems. And a lot of times, we're not all on that level where we're ready to hear the solution. Sometimes we're still in that phase of grieving, and that's okay. Right? But that's okay. But also be okay with someone else not being at that level with you. I don't have to get down in the hole with you, but I can speak to you from above. I can speak to you without jumping in the rut with you. And sometimes people want you to get in the hole with them. But we both can't help each other if we're in the same position. We can only help each other when we are willing to push one another. If you never experience the opposite of yourself, you'll never know your own limitations or your own potential, really. So back to my chart. My Aries is in Venus. And if anyone has that placement, right? When it comes to matters of love, you'll notice it comes out in my personality. I've given it a healthier way to express itself. So I may be very thought-provoking, or I may be very mischievous when it comes to like getting under people's skin through my words, right? A lot of times this was a karmic pattern that I came with, right, in my birth chart. And when I see write and scribe here, this also reminds me of the placements in the chart, okay? Where I would do certain things like start an argument, or I would do certain things where I would deliberately tempt someone to see how they respond to it, to test them, okay? And I'm not saying that this is okay, but think about it. It's a little impish, okay? It's a little devilish. And when it comes to matters of love, I would tend to do that in a very quiet way where my fear of, like, when I get bored, you know how you have those kids, when they get bored, they just start doing shit and you're like, why did you do that? Well, because I can, or why did you have to, and it's like, you're not even hurting anyone else. It could really be self-destructive. This also expresses itself in little ways, like you'll notice certain behavioral tics. Like, okay, when I was younger, I used to curl my hair and yank it out. It was like I had an itch for self-destructive behavior. All right. And it was because I was get disciplined if I would, do little mischievous things to other people. You can't stop me from doing it to myself. You know what I'm saying? So this can also show up in self-sabotage. This can also show up in overthinking, overanalyzing, right? And or wanting to take something, or wanting to attract something and know that you don't really want it long term, but you want it to want you. It could be very extreme, or it could be very, and sometimes you could be in a silent competition energetically and don't even realize. You could be sitting on your hands, not doing nothing, like, I'm behaving, but your mind is running amok. Your mind is mind power. You're visualizing who or what it is you want, and you could be, seducing them. Truth be told, whether you know it or not. And a lot of times with these type of placements, the more you know about yourself, you'll know, like, the moment somebody gives you, like, the moment that somebody lets you have them, it's like you're off to another challenge. That challenge is no longer fun. It's like, oh, you're not strong enough. You can't sustain yourself. You look at them sometimes in a condescending way where you're like, oh, you don't got the discipline. You don't have the self-restraint, and then if they reject you too much, then you can get mad about it and hold on to them in that way where you're like triggered, right? Because they can see your bullshit, but they're not going to participate. So a lot of this is someone studying, or you studying, the way in which you love and how you interact with relationships and people. Even if you're in a relationship, let's say y'all been together for a long time, that person has to understand that if you got those type of placements, they might require stimulation, being able to have a little small argument or a challenge. You got to challenge each other and learn each other's love language and really speak up. For those of you that struggle with that, one of the ways in which I was able to give all of that chaos, right? All that sexual energy, all that chaos energy, a place of existence so it wouldn't wreak havoc in my personal lives. I had to put that into a passion. You know what I'm saying? I had to read books. I had to, go out there and say, okay, when I walk away from this energy, I feel better. I don't feel like I need to go back and start an argument, or I don't feel like I need to do these things. You've learned through exercise and through practice that you can give all of that raw creator energy a place of existence, and it doesn't have to run amok in your life. Some of you may have created a trail of broken hearts of people that felt like they either weren't good enough, or that you have a tendency of walking away from them. Heartbreaker energy. So your life purpose is really tied to you using what you've learned thus far. Okay, and some of you will share it. You will share it with a soulmate, and you guys will have conversations and be vulnerable. And you will talk about these things that affected you. Okay. Sometimes I feel like you're speaking to me in my head. At times it triggers me because I wonder how much you can see into me. So some of you have a situation where you may have a karmic relationship as well. They love you too. Because it feels like you have a couple karmic relationships where you've all learned different things. And everyone's perception is changing. These ships are sailing. And if nothing at all, you guys will complete the karma this lifetime and you won't have to keep repeating it. There is a lesson to be learned from this. That's what I said. Union is an energy, not a physical construct. Even when we aren't together, I feel our union. So again, these changes are completing. These things are evolving, you're growing, you're changing. I think it's dope. So be gentle with yourself. Any channel message, any other channel message. 3 cards, please, Spirit. Yeah. Look at that. The Queen of Wands came up in reverse. With all this orange here, there's some fire energy. There's some fire. There's sexuality. The Queen of Wands in reverse is very intentional. Could be very dark, okay? Step into the bad side. Oh, oh, oh. Gonna be me right. But the sun is here. And I feel like we're gonna confirm this energy happening right here. That's what we're gonna do. There, clarify this Queen of Wands. That's what the delay is here. Wanting what you want by any means necessary. Clarify this Queen of Wands. Oh yeah, there's someone that triggers you. This King of Swords energy. There's someone that triggers you, and I feel like the King of Swords energy is very logical. Okay, so your little enticing behind. All right, whatever it is, don't work on this person. Tower cards. Every time you try, I feel like with the devil energy, this is temptation. And I feel like this person may be doing this to you as well, where you fall, I don't know, I get this energy that they tend to trigger you on purpose. Like, yeah, I feel like they're making you work on yourself, but they're triggering you on purpose in a way where um it's like judgment, justice. Your decisions are being judged right now. Have the King of Wands, the King of Swords. I don't know what it is, Taurus, but these combinations swear to come out. All right, there could be a Pied Piper here. The Devil, Justice, and Judgment is... Clarify the Tower. Knight of Wands. Six of Pentacles in the World. Child, I don't know. What I do know is I feel like with the Queen of Wands energy, based off certain delays or something about delays here, the Knight of Wands, you may find yourself at times like rushing into connections, or when people's very persistent, you give up or you give in. You give up or you give in to people that, you know, tempt you, or they tend to come very hot and heavy, and they want to be in your life, be around you. They're very persistent, I'm hearing. Like, they know that you have, like, these are the type of connections they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to catch that dragon. How to catch a dragon? I'm going to put your guards down. I know how to work on you and make you feel overwhelmed, less confident. And then you doubt yourself. And as you doubt yourself, you don't know what your decisions are. And it has something to do with feeling abandoned. Okay? Feeling left. It's an abandonment here. There is the karmic tie that stems from abandonment. So what does abandonment mean to you? Did you lose your father? Did you lose your mother? You know, were you a foster child? What created this tie? Six of Pentacles. This is the cycle that wants to be closed here. And you're like, which direction do I go in? And some of you are going into a direction, or you're making a decision to go into a direction, and you're letting go of someone from your past that was just keeping you stuck, stagnant, and them playing their mind games, and them, you know, they don't realize that's another karmic soulmate as well that may feel like they're your true love, but they don't realize as well how their thought process, their logic, and their controlling tactics as well has been a hindrance in your life, waiting around for that person to act right, be more emotionally available, and all those different things. So you have two people that have played a very significant role, two energies. They both are karmic ties. One keeps you karmically held up because they refuse to take action and do anything, and the other keeps you karmically tied up because, you know, they're impulsive, they're risky, they, you know, they have a lot of desire, but they have a lot of, they're easily tempted, you know what I'm saying? By material things, they're easily tempted, you know, as long as it'll get them out of a situation. They're like real tricky. Four of Pentacles. So both of these energies are familiar because they both have that same, I don't want to be left out, abandonment wound. I don't want to be, I'm hurt because you left me, or I'm hurt because you didn't choose me, or I'm hurt because I felt like I was overlooked my whole life, so I'm never going to come towards you. So both of these energies, whether you're going left or right, they're going to make you feel unsure of yourself. It's going to drain your willpower. It's going to make you feel like you have to do a lot of work on yourself to get over either one of them, Yeah. Ten of Cups and Death. Because this King of Swords energy keeps dangling in your face the life that you could have had with them, but that you never could obtain with them because you either broke up with them, or you started a life with someone else, or you moved on. So they have like this you'll never get to experience this life with me, but then they want you to be reminded of what y'all could have. So they're really in your energy as like wanting to make sure you reap what you've sown. They're the ones that's, they're attacking you through thoughts. They're attacking you, but they're also trying to say that they love you. They're taking it upon themselves to make you mad because they've been hurt by you. And they feel like they want to be in your energy to change you and tell you who you're supposed to be and play mind games on you. Because your true, raw, authentic nature intimidates both of them. Okay? And then this fire energy over here, King of Wands energy over here, oh, they toxic. They like that shit. They like that shit. And so they're like, excuse me if I do come back to you. Excuse me if I do manifest a life with you. Because I know that you have the ability to bring all my material desires into fruition. I know that you will manifest riches, wealth. You'll never stay down very long. You'll never be an underdog forever. You always get back up. And a lot of times it does bring, their intentions are being judged. The way that they're approaching you, it's based off of self-serving desires. It's based off of, wanting to pursue their own ambitious needs or wants and gluttony and greed. So justice and judgment is here saying they're no better either. And here you have this cat like, pay attention, they might steal your chain, they're offering you sweets. Okay, you're gonna need a lot of Novocaine. And at the bottom of the deck, your intuition is saying that, eventually they're gonna abandon you. Eventually, however you guys broke up, however you guys ended things, that abandonment wound is still present here. Eventually, they're going to feel like, oh, you did this to me when I didn't have nothing. And now I'm mad at you. Because what's not being healed, no one has the patience. Okay? So if you're feeling like, who should I choose? Who's my true love? All these great things, I feel like this is a matter of you don't got to hold on to anybody, really. For those of you that resonate with this, the Star, the Four of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands, this is your season. This is your turn. You don't have to take anyone with you. You don't have to share any of your wealth with anyone else. You don't have to put your worth in this person's energy that's emotionally unavailable and, you know, mean-spirited, and they have this underlying abandonment wound, you know, dangling something in your face. You were put in this position for a reason. You were put in the position to go after your passion and your dreams and your desires and see them come into fruition without having anyone by your side, male or female. And that's just the truth. Queen of Swords. And while they're stuck on one version of themselves, you done mastered the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands. Firm boundaries, you know. I can have sex with whoever I want to have sex with. I can have children with whoever I want to have children with. I can live my life the way I want to live. No one has to come along with me, you know. I don't have to save myself for someone that feels I'm worthy for them. I don't have to curtsy around someone and earn their love. I don't have to do any of that shit. You don't have to. Your perception of what, you know, of what you can manifest is limited to what you've been, the perception you've been given. So Spirit has been taking you on this journey to help you discover what your perception is, so you can create this from scratch, you know. Six of Pentacles. If you want a karmic person, be with a karmic person. If you want a person that you've learned less with, be with them. If you don't. You're the Empress. You're the giver. Okay? And when you decide that you're done, you can wrap that up too. And I feel like this is really saying, like, your generosity is enough. Like, just communicating with someone is generous. That is love. It doesn't have to be this grandiose thing, you know. Again, we're back at this same point. Seven of Cups, this way or that way. Technically, nobody can hold on to you. Technically, whether you're dating someone or not, you can date many people. You can have many relationships. And then the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, I don't want to create ties, or I want to keep my energy clean. The fact that you're saying to yourself you want to keep your energy clean is you have a thought process in your mind that tells you interacting with many people is dirty. And you have placed that person's perception of you that you one day want to meet as above. Like, that's how you're going to qualify to be in that person's life. They have no government over you unless you give them that weight and that measure. Everybody shit stink everywhere you go. And they could tell you, oh, this is how you're going to remain loyal to me. Oh, this is whatever. Whatever they tell you, whatever they want you to believe, those are their possessive tendencies. Those are their thought processes. You know, next thing you know, they're telling you who you can smile at. The next thing you know, they're blaming you for talking. If you're a guy, they're blaming you for flirting with a girl. It's their insecurities. It's their possessive tendencies. And unfortunately, but fortunately, you're the ones that break that cycle. And this is why in multiple lifetimes, you know, they are mad at you. A lot of you have many masculines or many feminines because you are royalty. Two of Swords. But they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to step into your true authentic self. They don't want you to see you in your full glory. Look at that. The Queen of Wands upright. They tell you that's promiscuous. Oh, that's dark. Or that's this. Or that's this. And the truth of the matter is, what hurts you more is when they put these stipulations on you and then they go out and do the very same thing they told you was wrong to do. Or they behave in the very same way that they told you that they shouldn't do. But once they got you and they have you, then you're like, this was a waste of my time. They done cheated, lied, stole, you know. You're not up for sale. And if you have any possessive tendencies, then I think it's time for you to work on that as well. Ace of Pentacles. You do have something. You have a big ass Ace of Pentacles, which means you thought about this. You have a lot of feelings towards it. You've invested a lot of energy, time, and action in doing it. Cultivate that. And eventually, it'll lead to the Two of Wands, right? You're utilizing your Ace of Wands already. So the Two of Wands is saying you'll know what path to take it down. You'll know what direction to move in. And when and whoever, no matter if you've never met them before, okay? Spirit is saying you may not even know them yet. But you've put yourself in a box. Like you can only go back to someone else. Some of you are going to meet someone at work and they're going to supersede your expectations. But if you don't believe that you're going to ever find anything better, then you're going to keep manifesting the same lessons or the same experience because you still need them in your life to confirm for you or validate for you your decision. Five of Swords. Five of Wands. They're not going to tell you. Why would someone tell you that they intend to be a better liar the next time you take them back? Why would someone tell you that? Why would someone tell you that they're going to do better and be a better friend and let's just be cordial? Why would they tell you that they secretly, have these thoughts or feelings towards you? That would be foolish. So it would behoove you to be your authentic self, and everything else says yes. Your future, your relationships, every other area of your life says yes. But right now, the Queen of Wands in reverse is saying that that's some deep imbalanced energy in regards to your sexuality. You could be feeling drained, okay? You could be feeling like you don't know what's the right version of yourself to be. And this is something that no one can tell you. Okay? Being balanced doesn't mean you eradicate it. It just means that you understand the light and the dark. They both exist. And it doesn't mean that you have to be the extreme of dark or the extreme of light. But you can have a well-balanced approach where, yes, I have a God-given sovereign right to be that one that teaches you that lesson. I have a God-given right to date anyone, to be anywhere. And you don't owe anyone an explanation or validation or to prove to them that this is the right thing to do, for yourself. I heard savages, barely even human. You got recharge. I invite magic into my life always. Every day I grow my connection to this earth. If I am ever feeling low, I simply step outside and appreciate the natural miracles in this life. Being in nature lifts my spirit and recharges my energy. Bottom of the deck, you have Creator of Happiness. I reclaim my power to create my own joy and happiness. It is not dependent on what any outside source or individual. Therefore, it cannot be taken away. It can always be found within me. Period. Spirit said, and that's all they're going to say about that. Taurus, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow, 11/11. Bye.